The night she said she had nowhere else to go did not arrive gently. It crashed into my life like a storm without warning, heavy with rain, fear, and unspoken endings. I still remember the way the streetlight flickered above us, how the world felt paused, as if everything I had ever known was holding its breath. In that moment, standing there with her eyes hollow from crying and her shoulders sagging under the weight of loss, I realized that some moments don't ask for permission. They demand a decision that changes everything. Before this story continues, pause for a second. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet power of human compassion, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. I had known her for years, though never deeply. She existed in the familiar background of my life, a presence I noticed but never truly saw. We shared polite smiles, brief conversations, and the unspoken understanding of people who cross paths without colliding. That night, however, stripped away all distance. Her life had unraveled in silence, one loss after another, until she was standing in front of me with nothing left but exhaustion and fear. The world had shut its doors on her one by one, family conflicts, broken promises, a job that disappeared without mercy, and a home that no longer welcomed her. Each setback had carved something out of her, leaving behind someone fragile yet still standing. I remember how small she looked against the darkness, as if the night itself was trying to swallow her. I felt an uncomfortable pull in my chest, a battle between logic and compassion. I was not a hero, not wealthy, not prepared to rescue anyone. My apartment was modest, my life carefully balanced on routines and solitude. I had learned to live without depending on anyone, and more importantly, without anyone depending on me. Letting someone in meant risk, discomfort, and vulnerability. It meant changing the rhythm of my carefully controlled world. Yet, as she stood there, the idea of walking away felt heavier than any fear I carried. I could sense the quiet desperation behind her calm exterior, the kind that doesn't scream but slowly suffocates. She wasn't asking for miracles, she was asking for safety, for time to breathe, for a place where the night wouldn't chase her away. Something inside me shifted, something I hadn't listened to in years. Compassion, when ignored for too long, finds a way to shout. That was how the question formed in my mind, simple yet terrifying. Not as a grand gesture, not as a promise of salvation, but as a door cracked open just enough for hope to slip through. The words left me before I could overthink them, and the silence afterward felt endless. I wondered if I had just crossed a line I couldn't uncross. The days that followed were awkward and uncertain. Sharing space with a stranger, even one you think you know, is like learning a new language without a dictionary. She moved carefully, as if afraid of taking up too much room, apologizing for things that didn't need apologies. I watched her struggle with guilt, with the fear of being a burden, with the shame society quietly places on those who fall. At night, I could hear her crying softly, trying to be silent, unaware that pain has a sound no walls can hide. I struggled too, though in different ways. I wrestled with doubts, with the fear of attachment, with questions about how long this arrangement could last. There were moments when I wanted my old quiet life back, moments when the weight of responsibility pressed hard on my chest. But there were also moments that surprised me, shared meals that felt warmer than expected, small laughs that broke through tension, and the slow return of light to her eyes. Healing, I learned, does not arrive suddenly. It comes in fragments, in ordinary moments that quietly stitch a person back together. As weeks passed, change began to take shape. She found small ways to contribute, not because I asked, but because dignity demands participation. She started searching for work again, rebuilding confidence piece by piece. I noticed how she stood a little straighter, how her voice gained strength, how hope returned cautiously, like a sunrise unsure if it would be welcomed. Watching her heal forced me to confront my own emptiness. In offering her shelter, I had unknowingly opened a door inside myself that had been locked for years. There were setbacks, of course. Bad days returned, memories resurfaced, fear crept back in. But this time, she wasn't alone. And neither was I. We learned that survival is easier when shared, that kindness does not weaken us, it reshapes us. The apartment that once felt small began to feel alive, filled with stories, resilience, and quiet courage. One evening, as sunlight spilled across the floor, I realized something profound. The night she said she had nowhere else to go did not just change her life. It changed mine. By choosing compassion over comfort, I had found purpose where I least expected it. Not in saving someone, but in standing beside them while they saved themselves. Near the end of this journey, when stability finally returned to her life and the future no longer looked like a threat, I felt a bittersweet ache. Not because I regretted helping her, but because I understood how deeply human connection had reshaped me. Some people enter our lives not to stay forever, but to remind us who we are capable of being. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of the power of kindness, please take a moment to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the Kindness Chronicles. Your engagement helps keep stories of hope alive. And before this video ends, I have one special request. Please comment a single line below about a time when kindness changed your life, or when you wish it had. Your words,